Namaste. I am Dr. K. Chandrasekharaya. I was commissioned as a flying officer about more than a decade ago. I am a faculty in computer science and engineering at a professor level in Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, India. The topic of my lecture for today, for our interactions, is cyber policing the government of India, cyber securing the government of India, government of Telangana and government of Andhra Pradesh from the clutches of the viral fake government of Telangana versus the viral corona. Towards diffusion, not diffusion. Towards diffusion, not diffusion. Now this is a publication by PhD student. This was published in the Vasad, Gujarat, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Institute of Technology, Vasad, Gujarat, India. So there is the concept of information warfare, cyber forensics, cyber warfare, cyber intelligence and cyber counterintelligence. These are the concepts which we have captured for our research purpose in the beginning. So how to counter the cyber crime? I don't want to tell about cyber crime much because it is something which is quite well known now in the field of computer science and IT. Now let us see how we could counter the cyber crime by means of web intelligence. What are the web intelligence measures we can adopt for diffusing the cyber crime? This is a publication which was presented in Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BY Camp, New Delhi in 2014. This is a case study of cyber crime which was perpetrated in the JNTH JAC website during the Telangana movement in the JNTH academic environment. The JNTH academic environment was infested with cyber crimes of a very high degree. You are all familiar with CERT, which is branch of CERT. This was just a snapshot from the homepage of JNTech JAC, which is a cyber criminal organization. You can see here there is the government of Telangana mentioned in the logo in 2011, during which time there was no government of Telangana. So we hold this as a fake government of Telangana. Next, you also can see that there is the logo of government of India. So this is another crime. It is violation of State Emblem of India, Prevention of Improper Use Act 2005. Apart from this, there are a couple of other crimes also, such as the cyber crime of cyber fraud, cyber sedition, so on and so forth. The sedition law is violated as per the viewpoints of the experts. There were, when this was captured, there were 1816 registrations. You can see how the registrations were distributed. Graduation, 1300 registrations. Post-graduation, 337 registrations. MS, MPhil, PhD, 94 registrations. Faculty, 17. Oh, now what is happening? PhDs doing cybercrime? Nonsense. This is sheer nonsense. MS, MPhil doing cybercrime? This is nonsense, sheer nonsense. By doing cyber crimes, one should not be in the field of academics. It is the worst kind of a situation in any society, because if the academics itself is infested with cyber crimes, what is the fate of the society? Next, when these people come out with degrees into the society, they will just be cyber criminals in the society. In other words, the academics has become a prospective field for the generation of cyber criminals into the society. If this is the way, what is the use of academics? What is the fate of JNT University? What is the fate of Telangana? What is the fate of India? You can see that there is a first information report. This is a registered crime. You can see here, Section 3 and 4 of State Emblem of India, Prohibition of Improper Use Act 2005. Under that, the cyber crime was registered, and the cyber criminal organization J&T JOC chairman was arrested, and he was released on bail by the payment of a surety amount of 50,000 rupees or so. You can see this cyber crime was perpetrated in the boundary, in the limits of the Cyberabad Metropolitan Police, Cyberabad Police limits, configure the Cyberabad Commissionerate limits. Then, how has the Cyberabad Commissionerate handled this crime? Let us see. This is really very interesting. You can see here, Professor K. Chandrasekharaya, the Dr. K. Chandrasekharaya is the complainant, and this is the crime. It was FIR date is 2014. As a matter of fact, the issue was brought to notice of the Vice Chancellor and the university authorities. They paid no heed to it, and the result was this. These are the conclusions. These are the two violations which are clearly visible. There are the other cyber crimes also involved. Altogether, we have considered 4 cyber crimes involved in the cyber crime context here. So, from cyber laws to cyber ethics, this is another publication. Case study of web content mining. The cheating government of Telangana, the seditious government of Telangana, Deshadroha government of Telangana, Mosapurita government of Telangana, 2011 onwards, it has been operational in JNTH, Hyderabad University, academic environment. You can see this fellow he was arrested, and he successfully got acquitted. He successfully got acquitted. That is the irony of the situation. That is the irony of the cyber crime scenario, cyber crime policing scenario in our case study context. This is another snapshot. This was taken in 2012, April 18. You can see here, 2012, 18 April. On that date, this was how the home page appeared. So we use the web crawler tool, and our concern is to bring the situation out of the vicious cycle involving the cyber crime of the fake government of Telangana. Not the cyber crime, the cyber crimes, because the multiple cyber crimes are involved. A continuing case study for the nation. For the nation, we are citizens of Mother India. माँ भारत है हमारा माताजी, उसको हम कैसा डिफेंस करना, how to counter this kind of cyber crime by means of the cyber intelligence alternatives, because the police intelligence, as we have noticed, was more failing, and the university higher education, university intelligence was also more failing. So we adopted an ICT approach, a web intelligence approach for addressing this cyber criminal organization, J&T JOC, and the cyber criminal organization, the fake government of Telangana. These twin cyber criminal organizations have been under check by our R&D group, by our research and development group. So the Wayback Machine, it was the web crawler tool which we used. You could see the various dates when the snapshots of the cyber criminal organization's website was captured. So these are two cyber crimes which were prevalent during these dates, during this span. This is another snapshot, 2011, November 12th. This was the look of the cyber criminal organizations, the twin cyber criminal organizations, the twin big data cyber criminal organizations, TBDCO's website snapshot. This is another snapshot. This was taken as it was on 26 February 2012 using our cyber forensic tool, the Wayback Machine. This is another snapshot which belonged to 10th June. You could see 10th June 2013. Here you can find Government of Telangana. In 2013 there was no fake Government of Telangana. So fake Government of Telangana is raised. Let us go to the previous slide. 2012, you can see the logo. So a fake Government of Telangana was prevalent in 2012. Now, likewise, this fake Government of Telangana has been there for several years. This is another snapshot. On 17th May 2014, you could see that the logo was removed after the measures, the counter measures taken by our research and development group headed by me. These are the conclusions. How to bring the academic situation, academic environment and the Telangana from out of the vicious cycle of cyber crimes. The vicious cycle involving the cyber crimes. How to get rid of the cheating government of Telangana, how to get rid of the fake government of Telangana, how to get rid of the seditious government of Telangana. This has been our thought all the while. So, cyber crime forensics held by us, it led to advanced thought in the field of cyber forensics, cyber ethics and cyber policing and jurisprudence. Now, this is another paper which was produced by Mr. Gauri Shankar, Mrs. Usha Gayatri, Ms. Neeraja and myself, the guide. It was presented in Ahmedabad in 2016, analyzing the web mining results of a case of cyber crime. So we have considered it from the web mining perspective. So, violation of State Emblem of India Prevention of Improper Use Act, Cyberabad police failed to make use of the cyber forensic evidence in handling the case. We present that the significance of cyber ethics in the case, cyber policing and judiciary are not just sufficient in handling cyber crimes. Cyber counseling and guidance is crucial in generating public opinion, national integration and academic development to remedy the flaws in handling cyber crimes by organizational means such as police. You could see this is very interesting. This is the gate of university entrance, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, university entrance gate. So the cyber criminal organization has a banner. They want to counsel. How ridiculous! The cyber criminal organization, which has to be host stakeholders, have to go to jail, have to get imprisoned. They are counseling. That is, they are drawing students into the fold of cyber crimes. See the worst kind of situation. Really, this is awesomely bad. This is highly insulting to the university, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, academic administration, the students, the academic environment, and the Telangana higher education, which got infested with the cyber crimes. These cyber criminal organizations, the twin big data cyber criminal organizations, the TBDCOs. What are the TBDCOs? The TBDCOs are the fake government of Telangana and the JNTU JAC. Why has the police not prohibited these two organizations? Why has government of Telangana not prohibited these two organizations? Why has the government of India not prohibited these two organizations? Why has government of Andhra Pradesh not prohibited these two cyber criminal organizations? These are all questions which we have to hold and which we have to consider to ensure that these two cyber criminal organizations are prohibited. We have to take measures. If at all the government of Telangana wants to be honest, if at all the government of Telangana wants to prove itself as a government that is worthwhile, it has to prohibit this cyber criminal organization joined to JAT. It has to prohibit the cyber criminal organization fake government of Telangana. As long as it does not prohibit fake government of Telangana, I am telling you straightforwardly, whoever, whether the chief minister or prime minister, whoever it is, whatever they may feel, I'll say that the stakeholders of government do not have a moral right to exercise themselves as holding the powers of authority in their chairs. Now, you can see that this was the judgment between the government of Andhra Pradesh on the one hand, represented by the KPSB police station house officer on the one side, and on the other side, Mr. Karunakar Reddy, who is the culprit, accused, according to the police, who has been brought to trial. So after the trial was over, he successfully got acquitted. The police successfully failed to prove the veracity of their claim with regard to the accusation. The police failed. The culprit succeeded. You could see the conclusions. These are the conclusions. So, we take up the cyber forensics, cyber ethics, jurisprudence and Cyberabad police organization for consideration, for exploration, in the best interest of reformation. Reformation in academics, reformation in cyber policing, reformation in the government. Reform. The government has to be reformed. The cyber police, Cyberabad police have to reform themselves. The university academics has to reform itself. The academic stakeholders should reform themselves. This is the idea. Now you could see the adaptive management of cyber criminal maladaptive organizations is the offing that imperil the nation. This is a national peril. Now, how do you bring the nation out of this perilous situation? This was a paper which was presented at IIT Kharagpur. I had some experience of session chairing in IIT Kharagpur. I chaired certain R&D sessions in IIT Kharagpur, and incidentally, this was also presented there during that time. This was presented by Mr. J. Ramesh Babu, my PhD student. What is to develop is the rectitude on the part of the academic stakeholders, national stakeholders, the stakeholders of the government of Telangana, the stakeholders of government of Andhra Pradesh, the stakeholders of government of India, and the stakeholders of Ma Bharat, Mother India. So, as a part of remedial measures, we interrogated the Cyberabad police with 48 questions under the RTI Act. To our interrogation, you could see the Assistant Commissioner of Police. My rank from the military side, as I was trained by Indian Air Force and Indian Army, is above the civilian police rank of ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police. So this is only for your information and not with any other motive. Anyway, now let us see that the RTI application was responded to by the ACP Inspector of Police, KPG Police Station, he mentioned the responses for 6 questions, six interrogations. For the remaining interrogations, he directed the application to the JNTH PIO, the registrar JNTH, but the registrar JNTH, he was very negligent. He is a defaulter of the implementation of the Right to Information Act. Professor Yadaya, he is a culprit with regard to the failure of the implementation of the Right to Information Act 2005. These are the conclusions. The charge sheet mentioned that there were 2 accused, A1, A2. A2 was considered absconding, and A1, the police successfully failed to convict A1, and A1 successfully passed to get acquitted. He was successful to get acquitted. Now let us see the other conclusions. These are all the conclusions. The maladaptive makeup of the JNTH has to be redressed. This is on the anvil. This is in the offing. This was in the offing, and this is in the offing. To diffuse the cyber criminal sedition dimension of Telangana movement, this was published by Mr. K. Madan Mohan and Sister N. Santoshi. Both are my PhD students. So, this captured the second police complaint. You could see the second FIR, violation of the Information Technology Act. You see how many cyber crimes are involved. You see how many CRPC violations are involved. Really, this is awfully bad. The academics is very vitiated and infested due to the cyber crimes with the cyber crimes. If you see here, you could see that this was an application. This was a DO letter, demi-official letter, addressed to the Vice Chancellor, JNTU. He did not take any action. He failed to take any action. He successfully failed to take any action. Also, the police were informed with regard to the cyber crime. They failed to respond to it positively, but we ensured and we made them to respond by means of the Right to Information Act. Our interest is national interest. We are responsible citizens of the nation. We have a sense of social responsibility. We have a sense of national responsibility, and that was the driving force for us to take up R&D in this field. So, you could see that this is the picture of the Cyberabad Metropolitan Police website, giving details of the second police case, which was registered under the Information Technology Act. These are the conclusions. The forensic evidence internal to the web as well as that external to the web could be put together to prove the crime and to prove the cyber criminal organizations. What are the cyber criminal organizations? They could be easily identified. When we put together the external, the evidence that is external to the web and the evidence that is internal to the web. So the results of cybercrime analytics in the context of image analytics presented our successful endeavors for the development of national consciousness, national amity, national solidarity, national spirit and national unity among the educated elites who will be torchbearers for the promotion of the same among the general public for successful digital India. This is another publication by Mr. Ravi Kumar, my PhD student, and my other students from R&D wing of JNTU, and other allied universities. The federal government of Telangana and JNT JOC are the twin cybercriminal organizations which are to be prohibited. The JNTH University has to release a white paper. It is a moral responsibility on the part of the JNTH University to release a white paper in the light of the R&D work, in the backdrop of the cyber criminal organizations which prevail in the JNTH academic environment. Similarly, Government of Telangana has to bring out a white paper, has to release a white paper with regard to the same. You could see that these are all the data which are in my Twitter account for remedying the cyber criminal organizations' prevalence in Telangana higher education academics. Now, this is what captures the Facebook content of our remedial measures. This is what captures the SoundCloud content of our remedial measures, our cyber policing efforts. So now we compare the viral cyber crimes of TBDCOs versus the viral corona. National cognitive impairment, threats to digital national life orientation, impact on FIRA-B. You're all familiar with fundamental interpersonal relations orientation behavior is very badly affected in the corona context, in the corona time, during the corona incidence time in the present day society. So, just as corona health bulletins, so on and so forth are released, the white paper should be released by the government of India, government of Telangana and government of Andhra Pradesh and other stakeholders such as JNTUH with regard to the measures taken and with regard to the prevalence or non-prevalence, with regard to the diffusion or otherwise, with regard to these twin big data cyber criminal organizations. So on the one hand, there is national threat of twin big data cyber criminal organizations. On the other hand, there is the grave national threat of corona incidents in the present day society in India. So we have had HRD establishment, the People's Governance Forum for remedying the TBDCOs, and we also have a clinic known as the Corona Clinic at sites.google.com/site/Vivek Telugu, which is an organization, Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda Seva Samiti. Most of my PhD students are associated with this. So we have, you can see here, Corona Diffusion Control Guidance and Counseling Center. It has been established. We have provisions for guiding and counseling the potential victims of corona incidents, the prospective people who require therapeutic and medicinal treatment. So on the one hand, there is the corona sensitive distance which we have to maintain. On the other hand, there is the FGOT sensitive distance we have to maintain. Because this side there is the government of Telangana, this side there is the corona. Be distant from corona, be distant from government of Telangana. So this is the corona clinic detailed here. These are the other conclusions. So psychotherapeutic services to the general public during the pandemic time to psychological disorders in the pandemic affected society. Corona Diffusion Control Guidance and Counseling Center offers these services. The REBT approach is followed especially in view of the two case studies of viral spread of cyber crimes versus pandemic for remedying with regard to the following. The same REBT approach helps to solve partially the cyber crimes, conditions and the pandemic conditions. The internet addiction disorder, look here, coronaphobia, corona-based OCD, then corona-based bipolar disorders, different psychological disorders are handled in this corona clinic. So be aware, our corona clinic, it serves the needs of medicine, the needs of treatment during the corona context, which we experience in the present day world. So we have the social media intelligence, we have the security media intelligence. The corona positive versus FGOT positive comparison gives rise to our motto: similar problems have similar solutions. So what are what is the similarity? National challenge, national threat, cyber safety, digital India, digital national life, health in digital national life. Thank you very much. Any questions, please? Any questions, please? Okay. धन्यवाद. नमस्कार. जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय हिंद.